Welcome to another show. This week, we'll look at top 10 things you probably didn't know about the Planet of the Apes TV series.
Very few know your history, and very few will ever know. You know, I've heard stories like that, but I always thought they were stories. I never believed that it really happened.
Planet of the Apes is a 1974 American science fiction television series that was broadcast on CBS. It is based on the 1968 film of the same name and its sequels, which were, in turn, based on the 1963 novel Planet of the Apes by Pierre Boulle. The series was broadcast in the US from September 13th to December 20th, 1974. The show was canceled after half a season because of poor ratings due at least partly to direct competition by NBC's Sanford and Son and Chico and the Man.
There were such humans, Galen. And they called themselves
astronauts.
Astronauts.
Only 13 of its 14 episodes were broadcast. Discussions for a Planet of the Apes television series were made by producer Arthur P. Jacobs as early as 1971. Because of the success of the movies, the idea of a television series was delayed until after the completion of Battle for the Planet of the Apes during the first half of 1973. However, soon after the premiere of Battle, Jacobs died, and his production company Jack Productions sold all Planet of the Apes rights and privileges to 20th Century Fox. Subsequently, television rights for the first 3 Planet of the Apes movies were sold to CBS and broadcast successfully during September 1973. Based largely on high viewership of Movie of the Week television broadcasts of the first few movies, CBS began to disfavor other contenders for a new science fiction series, including Gene Roddenberry's Genesis 2, and favor proposals for a Planet of the Apes television series. Fox and CBS then continued Jacobs' plans of a series the next year. CBS ordered 14 episodes of Planet of the Apes to be produced. The series was filmed for the most part on location at what is now Malibu Creek State Park, with a budget of about $250,000 for each episode. The series starred Roddy McDowell as Galen, a young chimpanzee that is sent by Zaius with Urko to ensure the safety of 2 humans that have survived a crash landing on Earth.
Yeah, well, we could have landed in a worse place, I'll tell you that.
Also Ron Harper as Colonel Alan Verdon, the human commander of the crash-landed spaceship from 20th Century Earth.
We should be able to find some copper plumbing pipe. Then all we need is a container and sulfuric acid to rig up a battery and get this thing going again.
And James Naughton as Major Peter J. Burke, a human astronaut that also survived the crash.
Where I come from, mothers used to warn their daughters about me. But you've really raised caution to new heights.
It featured Mark Leonard as Security Chief Urko, a violent gorilla and the series' main antagonist.
Let my surgeons perform the usual brain operation on the humans. He will tell us whatever we want and answer all our questions.
And Booth Coleman as Counselor Zaius, the highest-ranking member of the High Council of Central City in the year 3085.
Maybe the world would be better if no creature controlled another, if all worked together as equals.
And now that we've given you a brief overview of the show, here are top 10 things you probably didn't know about the series. Number 10. The Gene Roddenberry Connection. As we discussed, CBS bumped 2 as a series in favor of Planet of the Apes, but the producers decided to bring in Roddenberry to act as a consultant. However, before any of Roddenberry's ideas could be implemented, the show was canceled. Number 9. The Serling Connection. Though uncredited, Rod Serling wrote the original treatment and 2 proposed scripts for this series, essentially creating the basic format followed by the program: 2 astronauts and 1 chimpanzee pursued by the ape civilization. However, his storyline involving the magnetic disc ended up being dropped by the show's writers, putting an end to the series' only story arc. Number 8. Roddy McDowell's first TV series. Although Roddy McDowell was the obvious choice to portray Galen, he had to go out of his way to announce his interest in playing the role while other actors were being auditioned. Strangely, the producers didn't think McDowell would be interested, or were worried he'd demand too much money. Number 7. This series knocked ITC's sci-fi series Space 1999 out of CBS's 1974 fall schedule, forcing that show into first-run television syndication a year later. which was probably good for that show, since it lasted 2 seasons, and probably would have been canceled by CBS in its first season. Number 6. The show led to 5 made-for-TV movies. In 1980, 20th Century Fox released 5 compilation movies using 10 of the 14 original episodes. As this series was almost never seen in reruns, Roddy McDowell filmed various wraparounds for each one, commenting on his experience doing the original series. Number 5. The James Franciscus Connection. James Franciscus, who played Brent in Beneath the Planet of the Apes, was offered the role of Alan Verdon, but he turned it down. Number 4. The relationship to the original movies. This series obviously doesn't take place in the continuity of the original Apes films, since humans can talk in this series, and dogs are clearly alive, even though in Conquest of the Planet of the Apes it's explained that dogs and cats had been wiped out by a plague. But it's explained that the series takes place approximately 1,000 years after the events of Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Number 3. The Kim Hunter Connection. During this series' production, Kim Hunter was asked to appear as a guest star as a chimp, most likely Dr. Kira on The Surgeon. She declined, having had enough of the makeup ordeal.
I'd have to get to the studio at, say, 4 o'clock in the morning in order to be ready to shoot at 8. And then, say, we'd finish shooting at 7 o'clock at night. I wouldn't get home until 9, at least.
Number 2. The only female apes to be shown were chimpanzees. Interestingly, there were no female gorillas or orangutans shown. The only ape species where females were featured were the chimpanzees, although we almost saw female gorillas, as the ape family depicted in The Good Seeds was originally scripted as gorillas. And the number 1 thing you probably didn't know about the Planet of the Apes TV series is, despite the popularity of the Planet of the Apes franchise, and featuring Roddy McDowell, who played Cornelius and Caesar in the original film series, the television series hasn't been released yet into any streaming services as of 2021. Disney owns the rights due to buying 20th Century Fox. However, it hasn't been made available into the streaming service Disney Plus, to the disappointment of fans of the franchise. Merchandising tie-ins for this show include 4 novelizations of episodes, written by George Alec Effinger, that were published by Award Books. Also, there was a comic book series featuring the TV cast, Argentine Comics. 7 Spanish-language comics were published in Argentina, written by Jorge Claudio Morhain and Richard Barrero and illustrated by Sergio Malco and T. Toledo. Released only in Argentina, they have never been published officially in English. However, PDFs of the comics, translated to English by fans, are available at Cassidy Ray's site.
Roddy McDowell.
You're looking wonderful, Carol.
Oh, thank you. Well, so are you, Roddy.
That was our show for today. What did you think? Are you a Planet of the Apes fan? Did you prefer the movie series or the TV series? Did you like both? Let me know in the comments section below. While you're at it, I'd be honored if you subscribe to my channel. Click the link button to stay informed. Also check out my Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter franchise in the comments section. And, until next time, this is Axel and for Kevin Given saying live long and prosper. May the force be with you and keep reaching for the stars.